Below 1,000 meters, the ocean becomes a world without light, without warmth, and almost without energy. Imagine a city where 97% of all food disappears before it ever crosses the border. And yet, this place is still full of life. Some creatures here can glow continuously while spending almost no energy at all. Some animals grow longer than a blue whale, drifting silently through the darkness of the deep ocean. Some predators can see every movement of their prey, while the prey has no idea it is being watched. Even the vampire squid turns out to be something completely different from what its terrifying name suggests. And in the darkness of the deep ocean, one squid mother may guard her eggs for months. But every day she does, she pays a price that cannot be taken back. So what exactly allows life to survive in a place with almost no energy at all? I'm James Carter, and you're watching True Earth. In this video, we descend into the deep ocean where sunlight never reaches and explore the strange strategies that allow life to persist in one of the most extreme environments on Earth. The gelatinous strategy: become the water. There is a body drifting through the dark at 900 meters, translucent, pulsing faintly, trailing filaments so fine they vanish against the black water. A comb jelly. It does not swim so much as exist in motion. Rows of hair like cilia beat along its surface in coordinated waves, propelling it forward with so little effort that the energy cost is almost unmeasurable. As it moves, light fractures across those cilia in cascading bands of blue, green, and violet. No chemical reaction produces this light. It is purely structural, caused by the geometry of the cilia diffracting stray photons. In an environment where every calorie is precious, the organisms that need the least energy to exist will inherit the dark. Gelatinous animals have taken this principle to its biological extreme. Their bodies are approximately 95% water by wet mass. The structural material holding them together, a gel-like matrix called mesoglea, has a density almost identical to the surrounding seawater. The result is near-perfect neutral buoyancy. They hang suspended in the water column without spending energy to stay there, the way a cloud simply exists where it is. An evolutionary solution so effective, it has persisted for hundreds of millions of years. The comb jelly captures prey not by chasing it, but by trailing sticky tentacles through the water and waiting for contact. Where a fish must drive itself forward with muscle, the comb jelly barely disturbs the water at all. Among gelatinous animals, one lineage pushes this idea further than almost anything in the ocean. A siphonophore appears to be a single animal. It is not. It is a colony of genetically identical individuals, called zooids, each specialized beyond the point of independence. Some digest food, others propel the colony with rhythmic contractions, one maintains buoyancy, and others exist only to reproduce. Every zooid develops from a single fertilized egg, its role fixed by position along a shared central stem. Praia dubia can reach approximately 50 meters in length, longer than a blue whale. What appears to be a single drifting ribbon is a superorganism, a distributed body in which no individual part could survive on its own. Where, in a siphonophore, is the boundary of the animal itself? For a siphonophore, these questions have no clear answer. Some siphonophore colonies have been observed releasing portions of themselves into the water. A study published in Current Biology in 2025 proposed that these fragments may function as dispersal units for reproduction. But how a colony of specialists dissolves part of itself, and which parts survive that separation, remains unresolved. Not all gelatinous animals fit this template. Tiburonia gran rojo, described by MBRE researchers in 2003, has a bell about 1 meter in diameter and replaces the trailing tentacles typical of most jellyfish, with 4 to 7 thick, fleshy oral arms. Only around 23 specimens have ever been observed. Almost nothing is known about its diet, its reproductive cycle, or its behavior between sightings. Even the most familiar body plans in the midnight zone still hold surprises we have yet to uncover. The ambush strategy. Let the prey come to you. If gelatinous animals survive the dark by needing almost no energy at all, predators of the midnight zone solve the same problem in a different way. They do not minimize their needs, but maximize the return from a single moment of opportunity. In the surface ocean, predators often chase their prey. Speed, endurance, and sensory acuity are the currencies of that world. In the midnight zone, pursuit is a losing strategy because prey is too scarce and too widely dispersed. The energy spent chasing a meal through kilometers of open water would likely exceed the energy gained from catching it. The dominant predators here do not move, they wait. And they have turned the darkness itself into a weapon. The anglerfish carries a modified dorsal spine called the elysium, tipped with a fleshy, luminous bulb known as the esca. The esca glows in the dark, but the light does not come from the fish. It is generated by symbiotic bacteria housed inside a specialized chamber, fed by the host and producing bioluminescence in return. The anglerfish has not evolved the ability to make light. It has evolved a structure to farm organisms that do. A biological partnership so deeply embedded that the fish can no longer produce light without the bacteria inside it. Remove the bacteria, and the lure goes dark. The esca hangs directly above jaws that can open wide enough to engulf prey larger than the fish itself. Bones in the skull are hinged, allowing the mouth to gape at an angle impossible in a surface fish. The stomach is elastic, expanding to contain whatever arrives. Everything in the animal is organized around a single moment of encounter, with the lure above, the jaws below, and the skull and gut built to capitalize on the instant prey comes close enough. A flash of light, a movement toward it, the jaws close. Dragonfish use the same principle, but reverse its direction. Instead of attracting prey to the predator, they illuminate prey without being detected. Genera, including Malacosteus and Aristostomius, produce bioluminescence deep in the far red spectrum, at wavelengths most deep-sea animals cannot perceive. Their visual pigments are tuned to blue light, so red does not register. Dragonfish have evolved specialized opsins that allow them to see it. The result is one-sided illumination. The dragonfish sees its prey clearly, lit by its own beam, while the prey detects nothing. A light source visible to only one party in an encounter is not a lure. It is a private searchlight, sweeping a battlefield where the other side does not know a war is being fought. In a world lit only by bioluminescence, even a faint reflection can betray a predator's position. A 2020 study in Current Biology by Alexander Davis and colleagues documented ultra-black pigmentation in 16 species of deep-sea fish. Their skin reflects less than 0.5% of incident light. The blackest commercial paint reflects roughly 4 to 5%. These fish are an order of magnitude darker. The mechanism involves melanosomes packed at exceptional density, scattering photons laterally through multiple layers of melanin rather than reflecting them outward. Against any bioluminescent beam, these animals are functionally invisible. Dragonfish take this stealth one step further. Research on deep-sea dragonfish teeth shows that they are composed of hydroxyapatite nanocrystals so small that light passes through them rather than scattering. The teeth are transparent underwater, a predator that cannot be seen. Armed with undetectable teeth, waiting motionlessly in total darkness. The locomotion strategy. The body becomes the movement. Not every animal in the midnight zone can afford to sit still. Some must move to intercept drifting food or reposition themselves in a three-dimensional void with no landmarks or shelter. But movement through water is expensive because water is roughly 800 times denser than air. The torpedo-shaped body of a tuna, built for high-speed pursuit in productive surface waters, exists because prey there is abundant enough to justify the cost of chasing it. In the midnight zone, that calculation collapses and something else is needed. The dominant solution among elongate deep-sea fishes is anguilliform swimming, a continuous undulatory wave traveling from head to tail along the entire body. It is not fast, but it excels at low-speed maneuvering and precise repositioning in 3 dimensions. Exactly what the midnight zone demands. The body does not push through the water like a boat through waves. It becomes a wave within the water. For these animals, movement and existence are almost the same thing. One of the clearest expressions of this design is the snipe eel. A human spine contains 33 vertebrae, but the snipe eel has 600 to 750, an extraordinary number for any vertebrate. Its body is so long and narrow that across much of its length, it is thinner than a human finger. Its jaws curve apart at the tips and remain permanently open, lined with small backward-pointing teeth that turn the mouth itself into a feeding mechanism. As the eel undulates through the water, that open beak sweeps through clouds of small crustaceans and traps them like a net drawn through plankton. It does not move in order to feed. It feeds by moving. The same logic appears in even more extreme form in the gulper eel, Europharynx peleconoides. Its jaws can open to an angle that expands the mouth cavity enormously, functioning like a pelican's pouch and engulfing prey along with large volumes of water. An elastic stomach allows it to contain prey 2 to 3 times its own body diameter. At the tip of the tail, a small bioluminescent organ may serve as a lure, drawing curious animals toward the wrong end of a body that is, at the other end, almost entirely mouth. When food appears in this empty world, the gulper eel takes everything, because there may not be another chance for days. Another adaptation can be seen in several elongate deep-sea fishes, including snipe eels and dragonfish, which hold themselves vertically in the water column rather than horizontally. Research published in the Biological Bulletin proposed that this posture may reduce how much of the animal is visible when seen from below against the faint light filtering down from above. A horizontal fish presents a broad silhouette against the dim glow above. A vertical fish is nearly a point. Here, posture is not rest, but camouflage. In the midnight zone, what a body is and what a body does have become almost the same thing. The detritivore strategy. Eat what falls. The predators and the drifters and the swimmers all depend on the same thing: energy arriving from above in the form scientists call marine snow. It falls as a slow rain of dead phytoplankton, fecal pellets, shed mucus, and fragments of flesh sinking out of the sunlit ocean. Some particles take weeks to reach the midnight zone, and by the time they arrive, they are already diffuse, fragile, and quickly consumed at whatever finds them first. In every other ecosystem studied before the deep ocean, food requires effort, pursuit, ambush, or competition. In the midnight zone, there is a category of food that requires none of these. It simply falls, and entire communities have organized themselves around intercepting it before it disappears. Every calorie here is secondhand, something that died somewhere else, sometimes thousands of meters above. Vampiroteuthis infernalis, the vampire squid, does not hunt. Despite its name, it feeds almost exclusively on marine snow, using long filamentous appendages coated in adhesive mucus to collect drifting particles. What matters is not how it feeds, but where. The vampire squid lives mainly in oxygen minimum zones, where dissolved oxygen can fall below 0.5 milliliters per liter, about 1/10 of typical ocean levels. Most active predators cannot function at these concentrations. The vampire squid can, because the hemocyanin in its blood, the copper-based molecule that carries oxygen, binds that oxygen 3 to 5 times more efficiently than in most other cephalopods. It is claimed a food source that falls continuously through water no one else can breathe. The oxygen minimum zone is not a hostile environment for this animal. It is a private reserve, guarded not by aggression, but by chemistry. Among detritivores, the amphipod Phronima sedentaria has solved another problem of the midnight zone: being small in a space with no structure. No rocks, no reefs, no seafloor within reach. This animal, typically 2 to 4 centimeters long, locates a salp, a gelatinous barrel-shaped filter feeder, consumes its internal tissue, and repurposes the remaining transparent tunic as a mobile shelter. The female deposits her eggs inside, rows the hollowed barrel through the water column using her swimming legs, and guards the developing larvae within. From the outside, the barrel is nearly invisible, but from the inside, it is a nursery and a vehicle. Here, the resource is the refuse, and nothing in the midnight zone is discarded twice. The pelagic sea cucumber Anypniastes eximia represents a body plan repurposed for a habitat. Its relatives never occupied. Most sea cucumbers are strictly benthic, spending their lives creeping across the seafloor. Anypniastes has abandoned that world and is fully pelagic. Found between 1,000 and 6,000 meters, it moves using modified tube feet that function as broad, webbed fins, rising from the seafloor into open water in swimming motions that look almost comically ungainly. In the water column, it collects marine snow with oral tentacles, then descends again to feed on sediment below. It commutes between two worlds, harvesting what falls through both, an ancient body plan carried into a habitat it was never built for. The encounter strategy, the price of finding each other. In the surface ocean, finding a mate is rarely the limiting factor in reproduction. Population densities are high, encounters frequent, and even solitary species are rarely far from a potential partner. In the midnight zone, none of this applies. Individuals of the same species may be separated by kilometers in every direction, drifting through a featureless void with no gathering points. The chance of two members of the same species meeting at the right moment, in the right physiological state, is vanishingly small. Every reproductive strategy in the midnight zone begins with that single constraint. The solutions that have emerged are among the most extreme in vertebrate biology. The male serraceoid anglerfish has an enormous sense of smell. Its olfactory organs are built to detect the female's chemical signals across open water. Where sight is useless, he follows her through chemistry alone, tracing a molecular trail through total darkness until he finds its source. When he does, he bites into her skin. The tissues fuse, and their circulatory systems merge in a process called parabiosis. Over the weeks that follow, the male's digestive system degrades, his brain diminishes, and his eyes lose function, until what remains is a permanent sperm-producing organ, sustained entirely by the female's bloodstream. Research published in Science in 2020 found that serratioid anglerfish have lost key parts of the immune machinery that would normally cause the female to reject the male's tissue as foreign. He does not lose his identity through any failure of biology, but because in this environment permanent attachment is more viable than searching again in a space where finding her was already nearly impossible. In 2003, researchers from the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute published a discovery from ROV dives at approximately 2,500 meters depth in Monterey Canyon. A female black-eyed squid, Gonadus onyx, was observed holding a mass of 2,000 to 3,000 eggs against her body, using both arms. She drifted, suspended in the water column, doing nothing beyond keeping the eggs oxygenated. Based on embryo development rates, the team estimated she had been carrying the clutch for 6 to 9 months. The female Gonadus does not deposit her eggs somewhere safe, because in the midnight zone, there is nowhere safe, no substrate, no shelter. Instead, she carries them, circulating oxygenated water through the egg mass with her movements. But in doing so, she can't use her arms to hunt or capture prey. Without energy intake, her muscles begin to deteriorate. She is gradually and irreversibly becoming the energy source for her offspring. This was the first direct observation of egg brooding by any squid species in the deep sea. At sufficient depth, where encounters are rare enough and the loss of a clutch final enough, the survival of the mother and the survival of the offspring have ceased to be separable questions. Two very different animals arrive at the same solution. Both strategies demand something that cannot be recovered. In the midnight zone, the cost of reproduction is not measured in risk, but in what the animal permanently ceases to be. What the dark does not yet yield. The midnight zone has produced 5 distinct responses to the pressure of energy scarcity. Become water and drift without cost. Wait in the darkness and let prey come to the light. Move through the void as a wave until body and movement are no longer distinguishable. Harvest whatever gravity delivers from above. Find each other across kilometers of empty water and pay whatever the finding costs. These are not accidents, but coherent biological strategies, refined over millions of years in one of the most stable environments on Earth. Scientists estimate more than 80% of deep-sea species have not yet been formally described. MBARI alone has conducted more than 5,800 ROV dives, and NOAA more than 200 deep ocean expeditions. What has been seen is only a thin sample drawn from the largest living space on the planet. And even that small sample is not yet fully understood. Siphonophore colonies have been documented, releasing portions of themselves into the water, an act that may serve reproduction, dispersal, or something not yet imagined. No one knows what coordinates this fragmentation. The male anglerfish loses his digestive system, his brain, and his functional identity, while the immune suppression that makes this possible has now been mapped at the genetic level. But why this solution emerged in this lineage and not in the hundreds of other deep-sea species facing the same encounter problem, remains without a clear answer. The Gonadus female carries her eggs for 9 months without eating, a behavior observed only once. How common it is, how many strategies like it exist in species we have never encountered, we do not know. At its furthest edge, the science of the midnight zone reveals something deeper than undiscovered life. It reveals that even the things we have already found are not yet fully explained. Each observation opens a question that more observation alone cannot close. A body plan that dissolves part of itself and sends the pieces into the dark. A male that ceases to exist as an individual. And a mother whose body slowly becomes fuel for the next generation. These are not mysteries waiting for better cameras or deeper dives. They are mysteries waiting for ideas we have not yet had. The midnight zone is not a place waiting to be explored. It is a place waiting to be understood. Those are two different things, and the distance between them, in the largest habitat on Earth, is still immeasurable.